What's going on? What's going on? And welcome back to the Me Acting Up Hour, brought to you by the Names Are Not Important podcast. We're getting some technical things together while we just get the show going, and I'm gonna start bringing everybody in as they get everything together. We got some tricky weather up here in North Carolina, but nevertheless, we're ready to do what it do and have those conversations about our beloved Mideastern Athletic Conference and Central Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. So with that, we had a big weekend. We had North Carolina Central, which played in the first round of the FCS playoffs. Okay, I think we got everybody coming in. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit, and then discuss a little more the postseason football, and maybe start talking a little noise about this basketball season coming up. So let me start bringing everybody in while y'all come in. But welcome. Let me see. K Free, you got everything in order? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know what something's going on with that. Something's going on. I don't
I told everybody, we got that tricky weather in North Carolina,
know.
so these connections
Yeah,
might
but I
be
got
acting up. I don't know. All right, and we'll get it going. And brother Mackey, Will McKee's in the building. Brother D Mac from Names of
uh,
Not Importance in the building as they get their technology together. But what's going on, Ken? You got any shout outs you want to open up with?
uh really good good exciting Bayou Classic, man. I thought that was a very good game. Shout out to McKee's boy who was the interim coach for Southern University. But I really loved and I was glad that for my son and my wife to sit there and watch them bands, man, and show 'em what how them HBCU bands be getting it. Southern and Grambling did
And
their thing.
and you
Southern
know what
had
else is awesome? You know what
they had
else is awesome?
Fantasia was out there doing
Well,
the
that's
thing.
that's what I was about to say.
Yeah,
Even there's Amanda. Good evening, Amanda. Good to see you in the building. But even though it was a SWAC event, you see North Carolina still had to be in the
very
building,
well represented.
entertaining with Fantasia,
They-
doing her thing at
She
halftime.
did a thing, man. She did, but she's promoting. She got the color purple coming out. So,
That's right. That's
and
right.
she's the new Sealy. So we're wishing her the best. High Point Andrews in the hizzy.
In the hizzy. High point. Okay, I think Will McKee is ready in the building. Will
Hey,
McKee, what's going on, brother? You got any shout outs to open up with?
Yeah, what's up, gents? Good to see you. You, you MEAC CIAAers. My Jerry curl is not acting right tonight, but
Not
it's
all the way, turning over all the way, not quite. I
it's
got you.
kind of
Boy, you
dry.
got that
It's
good
kind of
head. What
dry.
you
It's
got
kind
that
of
good head.
dry.
Shit,
so
sound like
so
oh,
I know
yeah,
who you
big
want to
shout.
shout out though. Ken brought up the Bayou Classic,
Yeah,
so
yeah, I could hear it on the my team hooked it up where I could hear it. So I was running through the train station, but I could hear you. But yeah, big shout out to thank y'all for bigging up Coach Terrence Graves, interim head coach yesterday with Southern University, and he made history. He was the interim head coach at Grambling State University 2 years ago, so he's the first coach to ever win it on both sides. So I was just texting with him a few minutes ago, and how about the bands? And so big shout out to Tony Gunther, Charlie Clemens, my teammates from there, uh, Kevin Surratt, who was up at New York, seeing his son play for the New York Jets, and Charlie Clemens and Timothy Pittman, director of counseling at WSSU now. Big shout out to the text crew. We text each other, and wow. Big shout out to hashtag High Point, hashtag Fantasia. Uh, my favorite, my favorite R&B singer. I absolutely love her, and I want her to know it. So big shout out.
They did good. So
Ah,
not to steal thunder
if
from
you
the
don't
from the
want me,
SWAT
then don't
from
talk
the
to me.
SWAT guys, but you think they brought it up during the the uh the commentators brought it up about dropping that interim tag on your boy. You think he's done enough that you think he should get the shot? Not to
I
step on
do.
SWAT guys, but I
Yeah.
found it interesting. They brought it up and they talked about how he wanted to remove that interim tag.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad you brought it up. Big shout out to Swack and the Fool and the boys down there in the deep south, we say.
yeah,
I do. I do. I think that, now I'm going to say something real quick since you brought that up, Ken. This is what Coach Graves has. That I mean, he's an X and O. He's a defensive genius. He learned under the legendary Coach Pete Richardson, who was our coach at WSSU and went on to win Black National Championships at Southern. They have the first game of the season as the Pete Richardson Classic. But Coach Graves has the moral fiber that I would want to send my son to play for. When you talk about character education and his scholarship, even man, this is a throwback to the Eddie Robinson days, who y'all's dad worked in consort with to bring about a lot of what we see today. So yes, Ken, being for more reasons than just X's and O's. I love what he's able to do with Jimmy's and Joe's, as they say. He's a builder of young men and young women. So Southern University knows, and they know him. He was there for 15 years under Coach Rich as defensive coordinator for about half of that time. He's loved there. With this win Saturday, to your question, making history, being a guy that the guys you can tell they look with an interim tag going against somebody who's firmly in place in that job. You're both 5-5. For you to make it competitive, let alone to win, those young men and the women on the staff that make up the training staff, they bought into what you do. So yes, they got to pick Coach Graves, I think.
All right, let's stay there because I'm gonna have to throw something over here and see if it stick. So now, do you think that's possible in an era now where we see a lot of these schools? Well, I ain't gonna say a lot. That would be fair. But we see some of the schools trying to now bring in maybe former NFL athletes or bigger names or people more connected with the NFL. Post the Dion craze. We saw Bethune with Ed Reed. We saw Tennessee State, Eddie George. Hugh Jackson that took over at Grambling had a history in the NFL. So, like, do you think that they're going to kind of throw the feelers out to see if they can get, we'll say, high profile, quote unquote, more so than giving Brother Graves a well deserved shot? I mean, he does have the highest
Yeah,
winning percentage in the Bayou Classic.
yeah, right. Well, and I know y'all are gonna weigh in on this too, and I can't wait to hear what you all say. Yeah, I'm gonna harken back to a little of the spirit that Ken had last week with the Chris Paul conversation, and none of it was personal from any of us. We discussed topics, not it's never personal, but he was kind of saying, sometimes more often than not, we need to go with the people that have been committed and loyal to that school and to this platform, to HBCU sports. Sometimes people from the outside could be a good fit. I'm not a sectarian person that says we segregated, but back to his spirit from last week. Coach Graves is 20 plus years in the SWAC as a D coordinator level, special teams, defensive line. He's been loyal everywhere he's been, even in the interim tag. If you saw the press conference, he thanked Coach Pete Richardson for bringing him there as a GA and moving him up the ranks. He came up the ranks, and then he thanked Coach Dooley, who was his head coach for the whole year and brought him back to Southern, just like he thanked Coach Fobbs when he was in the interim at Grambling. He's very respectful and appreciative of the people that got him there. Yet he's able to take that pivot and say, okay, gentlemen, as he said in the press conference, you got 48 hours. Then we have to get our mind on those Grambling Tigers and on winning. So, yes, I think all of the things you mentioned, Ben, they're going to do because Dion has set a precedent for that. They're going to look at all these people, and hey, they have the right to do that. But Terrence Graves, that's who you got to go with in this situation. What's y'all take on just that in general? That you know,
Ken, your audio.
is that me?
No, that's
Let me
Ken's
go
audio.
on mute.
No, something wrong with your audio. You might have to. Nah, you sound like Doc right now. Yeah. Well, let me while Ken gets his audio straight. Let me go ahead and jump in a little bit. We can't hear you, Ken. No, no. Uh, so let me go ahead right quick. Ken, you may have to go back out and come back in. Um, yeah, it's bad.
Big shout
It's
out to
bad.
Amanda. Big shout out to
Yeah,
Amanda too. Big shout out.
shout out to Amanda. And going with the point that Amanda made with just the fact that some of these celebrity coaches and those that haven't been in the ranks, like you said, great points you brought up. Uh, uh, because a lot of these dudes may not have have paid the dues. They may not have the heart, like she said, or some of that uh HBCU love or knowing how to maneuver in it to bring the passion that's needed for these positions. Um, but I will say, I think they explore it because we see what it's done uh, to the landscape of HBCU football. But I'm with you. I believe a guy that's been proven and that has been there should get the shot and should get an opportunity. Um, but we know fairness is not always how it works. The word business is larger than the word show. So we understand we're gonna saying that. We're gonna say that. Um, let me see. Well, Ken, let me see. Check your audio. See if it's no. It still sounds bad. It sounds like it's busted, like a busted speaker. But yeah, go out and come back in. Ooh, yeah, go out and come back in. But to that point, kudos to Coach Graves because we know that's hard getting those players that came under another coach and keeping their head in the game because a lot of them came there to play under that coach. He leaves, they're questionable, but he got them focused to play and win a game. I think that's all you need for a resume, in my opinion. But we'll see. We'll see what Southern does. Uh, let's see. Ken's back. Talk to me, Ken.
Is that better?
That's much better. Go
All
ahead
right.
and weigh in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank goodness I got that worked out. Anyway, I couldn't agree more with you know what McKee said. Here's my issue with the whole thing. You can't. It's a different mentality for those guys than it is for guys who experience black college athletics been a part of Black college athletics or even went to HBCU. I used the Ed Reed as an example of the expectations when he was coming into Bethune and what he expected. And you got to go in there. My hat's off to Dion, because Dion didn't go in, complain, whatever. He wanted to build and try to make it what was comfortable for him, and turn Jackson State what was comfortable for him to do and what he needed to do. And I guess that's the way to say it. And you got to have that mindset. I mean, those cats don't have. They come from a different mindset, different way of doing things than what goes on, and then at what HBCUs, or being having that experience at HBCUs. I think they should give these guys who bled, who paid their dues, who I think they need to give these guys a shot. They need to give these young coaches that are coming in a shot, that so they can build their resume, run a program, build a program. And and that should be the mindset. You see a lot of these uh FCS coaches, FBS coaches. They're going with these young guys, man. And I'm telling you, it's we've got to get on that length and show that loyalty and do that. And I think those are the kind of coaches I hope they give this guy the shot. I hope they give him the shot. He's paid his dues. He's familiar with that Black college athletics. Give the man a shot.
No doubt, no doubt. I agree. I agree. I agree. But we shall see, as my man used to
We
say at the
shall
MEAC tournaments.
see.
We shall see. But with that, but with that, let's pivot because we don't want to steal the thunder of the SWAC. Shout out to the brothers
We
from
can't do
SWAC and
that.
the Fool.
I
We don't
just
want to
was like,
steal the
I
thunder,
have to
but
do it.
nevertheless, it was a great game that came down to the final seconds. What you want to see in a classic such as the Bayou. So shout out to those
Yes,
schools, Grambling University, Grambling State University, and Southern University. Shout out to them for putting on a great performance in the halftime. Everything was lovely, outstanding.
very good job.
Um, and Fantasia did her thing. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yes, you did.
Uh, Key stop smiling. No, but anyway, you see my wife in the building. Hey, baby, I don't want, don't want to get no trouble. Glory, glory. But
Fantasia.
anyway,
When I see you, when I see you.
when I
Amen.
see you, all right. But let's pivot. Let's pivot. And Amanda, this is a sad turn we got to take, but we got to cover it. I'm sorry, and I apologize. And I was able to watch the second half, and was a little disappointed. What started off as a promising game, but as we mentioned, the Eagles of North Carolina Central University traveled to Richmond for the first round of the FCS playoffs yesterday. And what started promising, the Eagles jumped out 20-7. I think Richmond scored right before halftime. It was 20-14. I know star quarterback Rashard got hurt late in the second quarter, and then didn't finish the first half, but did come back after halftime. But it was a little tough for the offense to get some things going. Richmond made some big plays, a punt return, and then a big pass play where it went through the defender's hands. It was just one of those plays, and after that, it was tough grinding for the Eagles, but nevertheless, a successful season, a great season. I believe a record-setting season for Rashard. Um, and just other than that showing against Howard, I mean, they were dominant all year. A top team, well deserving of that playoff bid, and all the respect they got this year. But there was an interesting thing. I think a coach. the coach from Richmond was asked, I guess, about Central's mindset or enthusiasm about traveling up here for a playoff game versus the Celebration Bowl, and he had an interesting answer. Uh, but Key, I believe you shared that in the, go ahead and spark the thought with that right there, and I'm gonna bring the man in. Hold on, there he is, Sparty himself,
He said Sparty.
brother D
This
Mac
That's what
in
the
the building.
man said, man. I'm just telling you what the man said. Go ahead, I'm ready.
Go ahead, D. Go ahead, D. Let it go. Let it be.
Hey,
Put it out
hey,
there.
look,
Sing it that again. Eh?
hey, I'm telling you, he come in with the flair.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it to you, and I agree, Amanda, that Central was different after Rashad got hurt, and it just seemed different in that second half. But Key, uh, go ahead, brother. I'm tossing it to you.
And
I
I'm gonna
wish.
toss it right back. I'm gonna toss it right back because I can't wait to hear what Ken and D have to say about uh, not only really Richmond's coaches. He didn't really make any really serious comments, but the fact that the reporter threw the question. So I'll just set the
Right.
context for the listeners if you didn't see it, and I'll throw it to y'all, and I'll respond on the back end. Richmond, University of Richmond's head football coach at the press conference after the game was asked about something to the tune of North Carolina Central's focus and even maybe desire to be in Richmond that day playing in the playoffs in Richmond against them, as opposed to what they missed out on by losing to Howard and not going back to the Celebration Bowl with its allure, appeal, and financial reward. And he just kind of said, hey, he was gracious in the fact that he almost sounded like he understood. Like, hey, that's a big deal. So what say you, hey, D? What you say about that, D and Ken? If y'all want to go in that order, D and B.
Go ahead, Ken.
Okay.
Now I want to hear what D got to say because I'm.
Uh,
Ken, your mic is acting up again. Hold on. For some reason, your mic has been getting warped, and it sounds like a busted speaker. Talk. Yeah, and it's a bad echo. We can't understand you. Yeah. While he gets that straight. So, go ahead. Do you got any thoughts on that?
so I'm sorry, I've lost track. Was what was this one again?
Is that better?
I'm still
Break it down,
That's
McKee. Yeah,
better.
we can
yeah.
hear you. Well, go ahead, Ken, and Ken, listen and do your breakdown, Ken,
Yeah.
and McKee. Oh, it's doing it again. Hold on.
Yes, doing it.
I don't I don't know what's going on with your mic, Ken. No, it sounds warped. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, we can't understand a word. It's like a bad echo and it sounds warped. I don't know.
Yeah, Ken, you got to let us know if you're gonna do auto tune because we love to
I
hear it.
know. It's like he
I mean,
called
Ken,
T Pain or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
he called T Pain out because Kid is a heck of a singer too, y'all. But
I didn't know FAMU had played, but all right, let's try one more again. We gonna get it in. Go ahead, kid. Talk.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah.
that's
All right,
better.
go ahead. And now it goes out again.
Yeah.
If you
Big shout
try
out
to
to
send
Zap
somebody
and
with that,
Roger Troutman.
We can't make out what you're saying. Yeah.
Now y'all do know that Peter Frampton Peter Frampton started the talk box originally.
Okay.
What's the reason?
Yeah, you got another mic. We can't even
Peter,
understand you.
hey Ken, say sing computer love.
See that? It's always one. Computer. But
Yeah,
yeah,
Ben will
why he get
do.
his mic straight. All right, let's get back refocused. Cause see,
Do you want
let me see. What Amanda say? Amanda say
want
the
me to
fact
set
that
the
he was
scene again, Ben?
comfortable answering that question and put words in our mouth was a red flag. I I agree. That was tough. And he tried to walk thin and say, I don't want to put words in his mouth. But hey, but what happened, D, I guess the reporter
What?
asked basically in lay terms, did it seem that Central would have rather been playing for the Celebration Bowl championship versus coming to Richmond for a playoff? Did you sense that they weren't uh, into it? I guess as much. And the coach answered, I don't think he should have. But
What was his answer?
well, go
Well,
ahead, McKee. Break it down.
he kind of as Ben said, he was on. If Dr. Cornell West would say, "Hope on a tightrope." He was kind of he didn't want to say. He was kind of saying, "Yeah, they did look kind of uninspired to be in the playoffs." And
Yeah.
then he said, "We jumped flips for the playoffs." Now, of course, he didn't go. He may not even, it may be a pathological blind spot. He didn't mention any of the factors of why the Celebration Bowl is so special to us. He mentioned that he watched it last year. He's really dancing a little bit. Like he was like, I watch it. I pay attention. I see why they want to go there. He probably knows the payout too. Like I get it. But this is our big deal to go to the playoffs at the University of Richmond. So this is what we look forward to. That was kind of his. But I don't think anybody thought that they would pose that question to him. I don't think we were all kind of
Yeah.
surprised.
Man, I was like,
What?
can y'all
Okay.
hear me?
And
Now.
Can
yeah,
you hear me now?
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Is it better?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
No,
much
look
better.
at- all right. I don't know where you left off.
They got me stuck. So what was that? The central coach being asked would they had rather been in the Celebration Bowl versus
No, it was the
University
Richmond
of
coach.
Richmond coach.
Is it my turn
Oh,
or
that was the University of Richmond.
okay? First of all, if I can, I'm good now, Ben.
Yep, you good.
Okay. First of all, whoever asked that question needs to be smacked in the face. That has to be one of the dumbest questions to ask. Why in the world you ask?
You need to be a little bit more passionate, kid. You need to be a little bit more passionate.
Why would you ask an opposing coach the mindset of another team? He don't coach them. He ain't in the locker room with them. He didn't practice with them all week. So for that reporter, your stupid sign, and you should be wearing it because that's the dumbest question. Two, for you to assume the coach is not going to have his team ready to play. If that is the game we're going to play, by God, we're going to play it and get ready for it. To say that their mindset is something else is a crack on the coaching staff and the job that they are doing. They are there to coach football, not to play in a Celebration Bowl, not to do his job, what he gets paid for. What he do is to coach men and to win football games. And if his next game is at Richmond, is in Atlanta, is at Orangeburg, is in Baltimore, Wherever it is, it is his job to get his team ready. That reporter should be smacked in the face for asking it. If he had a question about somebody's mindset, ask the central coach. And you know why they didn't ask the central coach? Because they knew what the central coach was going to tell him. You are full of crap. That is unbelievable. That is insulting. That is insulting to the central coaching staff. And that man shouldn't even come in. The coach, if somebody would ask me after a win like that, what do you think Central was there? Man, I don't know where. I can tell you where the University of Richmond's head was at. We wanted to win the game and advance in the playoffs. Now, all the stuff he talked about the Celebration Bowl, again, keep your mouth shut if you ain't playing in it. I mean, that is it was. Boy, it took all of me not to be like, I'm glad I wasn't at that press conference, because I would have been like, you got to be the dumbest person in the world to ask that question.
Yeah.
To disrespect that football team like that is just ridiculous. To disrespect a coaching staff is disrespectful. It was unfortunate. You going to tell me Central didn't go there to win? I mean, come on, man. I mean, they had an opportunity to extend their season. That's what any coach wants. An opportunity to extend a season. Basketball, soccer, extend your season. And boy, that burned me up. But it's good to know the University of Richmond knows how big the Celebration Bowl is. I guess they want some of that money.
That's what I was gonna say, Ken. It's kind of a testament to the value and the statue of the Celebration Bowl. Like,
right.
Yeah, you watch. Yeah, I know. We know you watched it. Yeah, you watch. But to your point, Ken, it's not like, I mean, once Howard won, you know that the Celebration Bowl, whether you go play in Richmond or not. To your point,
right.
I mean, hey, you didn't make it because that game is still played on the field called football. You have to go out and win it, whatever it is. So it was a bad question because they weren't going to Celebration Bowl either way.
Right.
Like you said, they're in Richmond playing.
But you're not going to tell me Central went to Rich. If you're a coach, and Ben, you can testify to this. McKee, you can testify. And if your players are sulking over a Celebration Bowl and not wanting to play, you'll know first day of practice if your kids want to be there or not. And you can be like, we go ahead and forfeit. You're not going to game because somebody gonna get hurt if their mind ain't on the University of Richmond. So don't insult a coaching staff and those kids because they wouldn't have played the game if their mind was somewhere else. Athletes, like y'all say, we want a chance to compete. They were going up there to whoop Richmond's butt to show everybody we should be in the Celebration Bowl. That we are the best team in the MEAC. That was, they were going in there, and that was their chance to prove it. Unfortunately, things didn't bounce the way they were. But that first half, I bet you wasn't thinking their minds were somewhere.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. That's right. That's right. But I think
D. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead, D.
D.
Clearly misunderstood this question because my answer was I thought the question was to the. No idea this question was to the Richmond coach. So now I'm following in it. Are you asking the Richmond coach what the Central coach is going to see? To embrace the old James Brown. He was just going off the rails, doing whatever he wanted to do, just breaking out in song in the middle. This is one of those interviews that just gives you credence to be like, so where did you think the mind coach of the Central football team? Now you could just go, hello, nice tonight. Nobody know what the hell you're talking about. Because the question doesn't make any sense. like asking me that question. Hell, I don't know. I wasn't on their sideline. It looked like, but I wasn't on their sideline. I was on mine. So I don't know what they would have you. I wasn't in a locker room. Are you suggesting that I had a camera in the locker room? I don't. Dumb question. I was trying to figure out how to answer it from another way. I got to roll with Kenny. It's like, what the hell? Huh? I don't know what they was thinking about. I don't know. You play to win the game. Hello, like you do anything in the open season. It's just like it. I don't. That didn't make it. I'm still question. That didn't make it.
Let me ask y'all. Let me ask you this. Did I'm gonna swing it everywhere. Do you think there's a level of arrogance there, even just for him,
From
because they might feel the central programs or the MEAC compared to what their level may be? Okay, playoff contenders might be lower. Do you think there's a certain arrogance to why he would say, well, maybe I could see why they want, because he was like, I could see why they want to be in the Celebration Bowl. It's a big game. It's, I watched it last year and I was rooting for him. Like, do you think it was arrogance, or he was just trying to maybe in an awkward roundabout way show support?
I
don't know.
Arrogance in the answer or the question?
In the answer. Because he said a couple times, I don't want to put words in their mouth, but I guess, but then he still went on to try to answer about why he could see
why it's taking so long from now. Is like the first question was, why the hell is the Richmond coach being asked the question? Why the hell is the Richmond coach answering the question? And I'm confused. It's taking a while for me to answer this question because I'm so confused at why, first off, and secondly, why that coach answered the question. Like, it doesn't even make any sense. Like, Amanda is words in her mouth and then proceeded to put words in her mouth, which confuses everything. So it's no idea. Like, I don't know that it was arrogance or stupidity. Like, it's a line of both. Because there's a level of arrogance to be like, it's like asking me, it's like, do you think Kenny lost last court case because of X, Y, Z? I don't want to put words in Kenny's mouth, but sure, I don't put words in his mouth. Like, I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm not privy to it, but I know. So but that's what brings the second question is, why am I say I don't know and shut the hell up? Anything
but it also
past that.
Exactly. That's why I think it was arrogant.
I don't know. I will say this. If I'm his players, I'm pissed. Because now you're making excuses for the job we did as a football team. Because the question, we won that football game. So now you're making questions that Central didn't play at their best, and that's why we beat them. I mean, he is, I don't know if it's audacity or it's just he don't have a clue, or it's that mentality of let me try to be PC or try to be nice for Central, which nobody asked him to do.
Yeah.
His thing should have been, my team was prepared. I don't know what was the mindset. We were prepared. I'm proud of my guys for the way they played out there. We played a tough Central team that came out and had us down, and we fought back to win a football game. That's a question for their coach. All I can say is our team was ready to play. We were prepared to play North Carolina Central, and that's what we did. And if I was his team and the coaches, I'd be like, man, you're taking away from the job we did. Richmond won that football game. They just won the football game over a good team. And I just think it's that, well, let me try to be nice and be able, and it comes across stupid. They both were stupid. And I'm sorry for using I mean, it's just, as a coach, as a former coach, I'm not. That's just. I can't even believe he would answer the question and take away from
And
what the job
that's what I'm
the
getting at.
and
But I'll
take
come
away
back.
from the job his
Yeah,
team did to win
that's what I
that
was.
football. Yeah, I think that's the
McKee,
arrogance.
what you
That's the
think?
arrogance. That's
What you
the
think?
arrogance that I feel I got to cover for the brother. No, you ain't got to cover for me, man.
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
speak my own self. You don't have to make excuses for why my team lost that football game. That's mighty. Never mind. I almost said it, but that's But don't take
yeah.
away
Go.
if I'm those football players, I'll be like, Coach, we won that football game. So don't take away from the job your team did. You know, I you think Saban gonna say, man, I felt sorry for that DB. I don't think his mind was in the right spot letting I got to catch that pass at the end of the football game.
Yeah, yeah,
Saban ain't gonna say
yeah,
that. I don't know where their minds was at on that last play. They must have been thinking about being
yeah,
bowl eligible.
yeah.
I don't know.
Good.
Come on,
Yeah.
man.
McKee, what's your thoughts?
I think it's everything y'all have said. It is. I think it was arrogant. I think kind of like Amanda said, he was trying to be a little nice and a little kind about it, but that was one of those. I'm gonna quote President Bill Clinton again: when you're in a ditch or you're in a hole, don't ask for a bigger shovel. Quit digging. There's no way he could have answered that question appropriately,
Right.
and his response should have been, "You'll have to ask them." you you'll have to ask them where they. All we know is they are a doggone tough football team that we had to be prepared for, and I'm proud of my guys and how we played in the second half. Next question. You don't try to put your head in the other team's locker room. You never do. And then with the
Exactly.
racial component, HBCU versus not just a PWI, a well-to-do PWI with a
Mm-hmm.
lot of money in their coffers. You don't even go there. You don't let and that coach is seasoned enough that he dealt with reporters for a long time, so there's no excuse on his part. I would throw this out there too. It kind of gave you a window into what we said earlier, how the Celebration Bowl is perceived in the white college or the tournament folks in FCS, because we've never really heard from them on how they see the Celebration Bowl. I haven't heard a coach from a non HBC school talk about it. That was very interesting, because what's happened is Celebration Bowl eclipses, for the points that you pointed out last weekend and that people have said for years, it eclipses that whole playoff because it's on prime time ABC. It's got $1 million payout. As you pointed out last week, you go in a deficit by going to the playoffs, and they're sitting back with envy looking at the Celebration Bowl, and we saw it from their
Right.
mouths now. And uh, if you get into the historical disparity of how underfunded HBCUs are
Preach,
historically,
preach, preach.
um, we deserve Celebration Bowl times 100. But we know that leaders like him have those cultural blind spots where they can only see today and they can only process the here and now out of selective amnesia. So, but we did see the envy of the Celebration Bowl. And thank God it is until at least 2026. I know the cricket folks have signed on the Celebration Bowl till at least 2026.
That's awesome. That's
And
awesome. That's awesome.
yes, it is.
Yeah, but to close that thought out, to Amanda's question, like that's arrogance, and I think when you have a superiority complex, just uh, football wise, I'm not even getting into the other aspects, the schools, because we know that history. But I just think you feel that you can speak on those things. But any respectful coach, we've all coached, just in respect for that title, you would not speak on another person's team unless you're complimenting them on their season or what they did. You would not even go there. But
Right.
if you feel, hey, this is it's our world, we do backflips for this because this is where it's at. Or to McKee's point, you might be a little envious on what has become of the Celebration Bowl compared to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? We got to pay to get these bids to host. We got to spend money just to host and try to recoup. It's a grind. We may not get the national attention like the celebration. There might be some envy there, but I think it was comfortable because of the arrogance. Um, I think people carry that swagger. We are this institution, and they kind of walk with the chest puffed up. Um, and they feel comfortable. But it saddens me, just coming from a culture perspective, that he would even entertain it, and he should know better than that, you know.
Exactly.
But but not to dwell on that, but we do want to shout out the Eagles on a great season, a memorable season, right? They got to play the Bruins of UCLA, get to the West Coast. The West Coast is the best coast, as they say out there. I have to debate that. Can't say some of the other monikers. This is a family show. But
West Side.
But let me
West
just say
Side.
let me just say that's the beauty of college football or college sports. Period. You gotta you know you gotta bring it every week. You gotta
Yeah.
because even though you may be the best team or whatever on paper, whatever, you can have that one bad Saturday in
Mhm.
basketball. That's why March Madness is so great because any night one team can just play that perfect game and beat you. That's the beauty of college sports. So that's why that guy may have felt. I mean, why he would comment, or I don't think it's so much he didn't think Central could play with them because they lost to Morgan. So I mean,
Exactly. They
I don't
lost to the
think that.
third place team.
Yeah, I think it was his arrogance of I'm an answer for these brothers. Cause I'm like, we don't need you to make excuses for us. We don't need that, you know. And that's his arrogance that he felt comfortable enough to answer that question to try to excuse. And in a way, he made an ass out of himself, and he embarrassed his football team with the job they did. So I mean, so hats off to the Central this year. They deserve to feel proud of the job they did this year and should feel proud enough that even though they weren't MEAC champs, they got a bid to play in the playoffs. I mean,
That's right. That's right.
that's an
And and,
accomplishment, man.
and were
And,
were
and,
ranked
and
all three.
nobody should take
It
that
is.
away from them.
Yeah,
That means
they
you're
were
one of
ranked.
the top 16 teams in the country that the
Mm-hmm.
NCAA said, and they wanted
Yeah,
you in the playoffs.
yeah.
So
And
hats
and
off to a
and
great year.
and actually was ranked higher than Richmond coming into the playoffs. Uh, so that's a matter. And like you say, if I'm as the players at Richmond, I'm like, what you trying to say, coach? Because
Right.
basically, you saying had they been focused, they probably would have beat us. But
Right.
but
Right.
but I think they were. I just think when you see your leader go down, it kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
hurts
It's
hurts
just
hurts your
Eh,
mindset, your guy. And I just think it just took them a minute to try to get it back going, and by that time, Richmond had made some plays, got
right. It
momentum.
deflates you. Deflates you.
But
Yeah.
had he not gotten hurt, Rashard, speaking of the quarterback, we might be talking about them preparing for you of Albany. But that's football. That's
That's
football,
football.
man. Those injuries happen. You got to play through them. Next person up. and you just gotta do what you gotta do. But shout out, hats off to them. And as Amanda said, yes, you are the champs until the defending champs until December 16th, 2023. So the Eagles are still the reigning champs. But man, it's already 9:51. I know we took y'all on a journey last week. We're gonna try to be respectful of time. It's Sunday. We know people gotta get up for work, but just want to but Key, do you have a highlight this week? I didn't even check, my brother, to make sure we
Are
have
we
time.
doing Benedict?
Huh? You I,
Are we
I was
doing?
trying to get through I
And
was trying to
we're
get
not
through the
gonna
show.
talk
I was
about the
trying to get
Florida.
through the show with huh?
We're not gonna talk about the Florida Beach Bowl.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Look, I was
We
trying.
got to talk.
I was trying to get away from Benedict because I feel the jokes coming from D, and I was trying to
We,
avoid them. And
I
we
have
took
no
a
jokes.
L. We took a L as in Lenore Ryan, who came to Columbia, and very competitive game. First half, we had the
It
lead at
was.
halftime, and then third quarter, we just gave up two
Look,
quick
man,
scores.
Lenore was that was a good football team.
A good team,
They were
good team, good team.
they
But
were
shout out
all
to my
year they were
Tigers.
yeah.
Shout out
Very
to my
good.
Benedict College Tigers on another great season. We just couldn't pull it out once again. But you learn and you grow. But I think we'll be back. We'll be ready to try to do it a third time. We just hope Coach Chennisberry will be at the helm. But I'm gonna leave that there. But before we get out, let's go ahead and transition to the Florida Beach Bowl. Uh, Ken, go ahead. You got some news on that, or some thoughts
Well,
you want to
the
share?
teams we're not gonna comment on the teams that were picked.
Well, we kind of did that last. We can.
Do you find it interesting that Fayetteville State wasn't picked, Virginia State wasn't picked, Winston-Salem State? Do
Well,
you find it kind of interesting that even though Johnson C. Smith, hats off, Johnson C. Smith had a great year.
they finished
They won
second in the
7.
South
Yeah,
behind Fayetteville State. Yeah,
yeah. But do you find that interesting though? I find it,
I do.
and
I
maybe we can
do.
save it for next week because I know you want
We
to be
gonna say
conscious
that for
of
next
time.
week. We're gonna because it'll be a little closer. The Florida Beach Bowl is December 13th. Be a little closer.
Yes.
We'll kind of talk because then we can kind of dedicate, the time for the upcoming Celebration Bowl with Howard. Once we know who they'll be playing, the SWAC championship is this coming Saturday, so we can kind of
Yeah.
get into that. But we'll get more into that. We'll call it the bowl edition, I guess, uh, as we prepare the Florida
McKee,
Beach
do you
Bowl.
find it interesting those teams didn't want to go?
Yes, I find it
we,
find it very
we,
interesting.
Oh man!
I,
And
hey,
no,
I think
but look,
go ahead.
we also want to get ready for basketball. Because
Yes.
majority of us
Hey,
are
has there
basketball
ever
focused.
been well, no, we did beat Norfolk State. I was wondering if there's ever been a school that ain't won a game in football or basketball because I think A&T trying their best to get that record. But
Hey
we
man,
did have one win in football.
you better sit back and do an Aggie lean right now, man, and get off your Aggies.
Oh, we
Come
ain't
on.
gonna win a basketball game.
Hey, listen.
I just want to know
not
if there's a
one.
history. I want to know if there's a history of a team, football and basketball combined, you win one game. I think we're gonna break that
Let me.
record.
I haven't done the disclaimer this show. Let me do the disclaimer, dear Aggie fans. Thoughts and
Even though
views, Kenneth Free
even though I
Jr.
do have a former
are
player that's
solely
playing with
his
the
thoughts and
Aggies now.
opinions on the state of A&T football and basketball. It has nothing to do with us.
But
But thank you, Amanda, for
let me say this
for the
though.
compliment.
Let me say this.
Thank you. Go ahead. Go
Let
ahead.
me say. Let me say this. And big shout out to Amanda for letting us know the injuries that North Carolina Central had too. She talked about that against Howard.
Yeah.
That and it showed up. That second half really told that Central was not playing with a full. Yeah. Anyway, um, but let me say something real quick about what Ken said. When you all of this is indicative too of he's joking, but it's possible, and and see, this is the thing, and when I say this, y'all, look, I'm Africana studies all day.
Come
I
on, Dr.
love my HBCUs all day. Shout out to Dr. Greg Carr at Howard University. I just love Africana studies and my people. But I'll say this though, in a real way, we're looking at budgets. We're looking at infrastructure. We're looking at facilities. And when you're recruiting against other schools, kids are making comparisons. I mean, it's just what it is. And the vast majority of them didn't see Eric Deal's movie, HBSU, and don't care. So they don't have any historical context a lot of times. And if the parents don't, you really don't have. So they're going to this program. They're going to UT Chattanooga and looking at their gym, looking at their facilities, and they go to Howard. Said all that to say, when you play teams from the CAA on your non-conference schedule and you're still in the MEAC, you can kind of load up for those games and just give your all and be prepared. Those teams have way bigger budgets than you have. They got, so there's nothing to be ashamed of. But when you turn those non-conference adventures into an every week thing, so you go CAA as a conference, and now you're playing. Is anybody else in the building?
We here. Keep going.
No,
Your
you're
head was a little
featured.
cut off, so I was trying.
You being
Oh,
featured.
I'm
Yeah, I was
featured.
trying to
Oh, okay.
make
You
sure we
mean
get you.
is it
Yeah,
millions watching? Millions?
that's right. That's right.
Okay, hold
That's right.
on.
That's right.
Ink spot. No, but real. Did you say millions? No, but when you, I kind of like this, Ben. Do it the whole show. So when you say no, but seriously, but to Ken's point, real briefly, when you turn, that's usually a CAA school is usually 1 or 2 a year on your schedule if you're in the MEAC, and you can kind of load up for those games and give it your all. When you've got CAA every week, all week, you got to really be equipped and prepared to really handle that kind of schedule. And if you're not, you could make a jump you could switch conferences like that, and you're looking at one win for both sports right now. And it's not because A&T was terrible. It's because they got that every week. You got that rapid fire every week. And then let's say if you play a money game, well, all of them should be money games if you're in the CAA. But let's say
They play about 20 of them.
Yeah, but so you're in the CAA and then you step out to play a money game against Michigan. Man, you got injuries, you got fatigue, you're outmanned, you're outspent. Hey, that leap has to be done with serious strategic planning and the money and the resources to do it.
Yeah. Well,
yep.
I agree.
Yes,
I was joking. I was joking, but McKee knew that I'm joking, being serious. But I was joking. It's just, I'll just put it like this: it's hard seeing where UNCG's program is now, and where our program is now, basketball. It is.
Come on, Mac. Come on, Mac. Rub it in.
It used to be we gonna beat UNCG by 40 points. Now we're lucky if we can.
That was.
It was the beginning. Man, shoot.
We
looked. Okay, you might not. You might, but you look at the history. UNCG.
There it is.
You didn't.
There it is.
You look at the history because A&T could be owing
Hey,
forever, but
hey,
we
hey,
were like,
but look,
hey, we could
well,
be owing
one
forever, but we were
thing,
like, thank God we got UNCG on the schedule.
hey, but look, one thing we know
But
y'all will beat UNCG in football, though. We know that for sure. We gonna count
We
that.
but
undefeated. We
but in
undefeated,
all
baby.
seriousness, but to see where UNCG's program has gone to where A&T's is now, it's just we ought to be shamed. And we're gonna be passed. We're gonna be passed. Shoot, soon we're gonna be passed by Guilford College. So
Let
Hey,
the world
Mike
beat you.
Dearman's son over at Guilford,
he's
boy.
open, ain't it? How we
Oh
not
man,
open? He's
Yeah,
all
y'all might struggle with
ODAC.
Guilford.
He's all
Y'all might
ODAC.
struggle with Guilford, but
But
hey,
we
if
would
Dearman
yeah,
struggle.
gets
but look,
hot,
We would
if
struggle.
Dearman is hot,
but look. We got next week. We gonna have to get the basketball preview.
I thought
And
Kenny
get
was
ready.
exaggerating. I went over and looked, and I saw that they lost to Maryland. Was like, there's a long road ahead.
Yeah,
When you look at this schedule, it is not get easy. Like
It's gonna be a long season. I don't see us winning. I don't think we're gonna win a conference game. I don't think we're gonna win a conference game.
I ain't gonna say that.
Who?
Campbell.
Say that.
You could get Hampton, but the stuff I saw when I saw
Hampton might be the closest thing we get to a win.
oh
yeah.
Hampton,
Y'all might be
got it.
D-line, man. Y'all might be D-line, man.
you might be okay against the city.
You might be D-line. That's a long one, but y'all might be. Yeah. Man said
Elon's
long road.
possible.
Look, man, it is bad. That's why I said, man,
Hey,
we might not
we
win.
go. Look, when we do the basketball preview, we'll throw your Aggies in there.
No, we gonna leave. This is a MEAC. We gonna leave the Aggies out because that's just too embarrassing. We gonna leave the Aggies way out. I'm the Corbett age Aggie. When we were MEAC, I'm the Capel
Let me
Aggie.
say this, and let me say this. If y'all don't play, I'm talking to the Aggie Nation. If y'all don't play that hooker, and I know all the quarterbacks hit the portal
preach.
As Amanda said, Amanda is on top of things.
But they lost their top defensive end. They lost the linebacker. I mean, everybody leaving.
Everybody, it's an exodus. But if y'all don't play hooker, quit playing. What's up with that? Why are you trying to prove? It's almost like jealousy of the family, man.
Right.
Like, the dudes can roll, and they're great people. I mean, they're going to give you the best interview. They're going to make the institution look awesome. Put him in, man. And did you see, after all of the passing over of him they did this year, he kept his poise and had a great final game.
And he didn't. That's because he got great parents. I mean, he got
great parents.
Yeah.
It's in the genes, baby. Put him in. You need him in for the storyline, man. You need some help, dude. What are you doing?
But I'm scared he might get hurt. Go ahead. Shoot.
But that's we gonna tackle that too. That'll be offset. But look, final wrap up because we gonna save the previews for next week and we gonna go in deep on celebration and Florida Beach
for food
next week as we prepare.
Food for thought.
Yeah. So we go get some rest and we go hard in the paint as they say. But any final thoughts? D-Mac, any final thoughts?
I want to give a shout out to Wall Street Juniors and their financial literacy they had their 5th anniversary brunch today. So 5 years of excellence to them today. Shout shout out and thank you for inviting us. And
and go into, because matter of fact, we gotta do this. We gotta celebrate some of the things we doing as in the community as leaders. So D, go into
Please,
to I am dope, uh
please.
in Bull City, just briefly, so they know, so they can make the connections. Our fans come in to show what you're doing and highlighting the impact you make
yeah, so with
down
I
the
am
dirt.
dope, of course. I mean, the short version is the program anchored in workforce development, helping kids develop their sense passion. Well, helping kids develop their passion into a pathway to whatever you're passionate about. There's a career for it, and we show them give them the resources and the two-way. We also are anchored in development with our basketball team. On the kids that need that development, that skill development that they can't get at the schools, and they come to us for that. So those are the two elements that we do. We, of course, life skills enhancement and leadership academy workshops, as well as mental health.
My man. And matter of fact, do you still got the little commercial things that we ran during the conference, that we ran between speakers highlighting the stuff that's we doing?
Yeah,
Because we
I
need to
do.
run that on this too, man. But shout out, I am dope. I am developing ownership of personal empowerment. He's doing great things with the Leadership Academy. He ain't say all that he doing, but he doing a lot with those kids with leadership, financial literacy, as he said, workforce development, introducing them to various leaders and vocations as they start to prepare their paths for the future. So shout out to that, and to Wall Street Junior, who did a great presentation that I watched uh, a couple Saturdays ago. So shout out to them. Uh, Final shout out, McKee.
Man, I don't do things. I don't do things good to be seen, but I don't mind being seen doing things, doing good things. And I'm very proud to have worked with partner with D with I Am Dope and the great work that they do, and Clergy for Cures, who had a great food drive initiative and financial literacy piece. I'm gonna close with our school of the week, which is Coppin State University. And
All right.
sometimes I highlight a program. Exactly, exactly. I can remember when Commissioner Ken Free Sr. Recruited Coppin into the MEAC. Those were some exciting times. And since we're transitioning into basketball, I think it's only fitting. Coppin State University, nestled right in West Baltimore, has the highest standards in their academics as well as their athletics. Number one most affordable university in the university system of Maryland. Number one nursing school in Maryland, student choice by nurse.org. And number seven best social work degree in MD College Factual. Big shout out to Coppin State University. Also, big shout out real quick to Digging in Crates. Had a great time over there with those folks the other day. That's Digging in the Crates on Facebook. Also, check out Biographies TV on Facebook. Got to have all you three on there at some point. And Digging in the Crates, man, you got to do a freestyle when you go on Professor Hooker's show. And I see what Andre 3000 was saying. Sometimes you just get to an age where you need to hang up the mic because he sent me the footage. It's a great show, great production, but good gracious, oh Lord, don't hold that against me. I'm out, being. Thank you.
All right, kid, any last shout out?
I have to give a shout out to the brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, my frat brothers, for another successful
Hmm.
guide right program, and that Kappa League help developing young men and future leaders successful, and they're getting ready for their Botillion Military, the Greensboro alumni chapter. So keep it up, Kappa Alpha Psi, yo yo. And hopefully, I'm trying to convince your nephew to be a part of that Botillion. He's thinking about being a part of the Botillion military. But great job, another successful Kappa League and Guide Right. And it's good that our fraternities and are staying involved and contributing to the youth here, and especially developing young Black men.
No doubt, no doubt. So lastly, I just want to say thank you, Amanda, and everybody for tuning in. We truly appreciate you. Shout out to
Amanda.
to to Swack and a Fool and those brothers down there, the inspiration for this. And just a shout out to all our institutions. This has been a great year. I hate to see it winding down, but it's been a great year uh, for historically black colleges and universities athletically. You look at the years Central had, Benedict had, FAMU. Um, so it makes
Howard.
me get excited. Howard, yeah, it makes me get excited for what's to come with basketball. So shout out to all the wonderful schools, and I thank you, brothers, for what you do. And until next week, I think that means we out. Peace.